Hello, folks. I am in my car. The windows are frosted over because it's fucking cold. And I wanted somewhere where I could work and make a video and have a little bit of quiet so that you guys aren't listening to my kids running around and screaming. And my husband, he works from home, so he's making like business calls, and there's no quiet in my house. So here I am. I just realized that light in the background is cars driving past. Anyway, my husband pointed out something during couples therapy yesterday that really kind of opened my eyes. And I need to make some changes to the way I've been living my life now, I think. And so I'm going to talk about that. I crashed really hard a couple days ago. I didn't cut myself this time, which is good, because a lot of the times I've been crashing lately, I've been cutting myself, but I didn't realize I was crashing. I didn't know what was going on. I've kind of not known what was going on for like a year now. More than a year, really. I guess we're coming up on 2 years. So yeah, let me just start trying to put the pieces together. And those of you who've known my channel for a long time might remember who I used to be. That person, I'm starting to realize, is dead. The old me is dead. I miss her. She was a nice gal, but she's gone, and I'm starting to realize that. Like, she's gone. I used to be able to put videos out like every Thursday, kind of like clockwork. I miss those days. Those were nice days. I was a stable individual. I was a stable person, and I missed being stable. Stable was nice. I used to be relatively content with my life. I used to be relatively happy. Obviously, I had some problems. My husband had a brain tumor at the time, and so, like, I married one guy, and I ended up being married to a completely different guy, which was not what I had signed up for, really. But, you know, when you say those marriage vows, just be aware, shit can go really weird and screwy. And so, yeah, I remember the man I married, and he's back now because they have a magic pill that will shrink the brain tumor, which is really cool. But unfortunately, I'm not me anymore, so that sort of sucks. So once upon a time, I used to be able to put out videos regularly. That was really cool. I used to do a lot of things like just stable person things, stable, sane person things. I really miss those stable, sane person days. They were really good. I think they're gone. I think I'm gonna have to learn a whole new me, and that's gonna be an adventure. I'm a little pissed off about that, because, you know, yeah, I used to understand what the fuck was going on in my life. Now, not so much. What happened? When did all this start? Well, I'm still figuring that out, but I got a piece of information yesterday, and it's starting to all click into place, I think. So, during my last pregnancy, and I have been pregnant 7 times, and you would think that the pregnancy where I had to have an abortion because the baby was going to die because he was terminally ill, that was bad. That was bad. That was when I started making YouTube videos. That was definitely not a fun time. This has been worse, which I didn't think would happen, but this has actually been worse. I don't think at any point I would have argued otherwise. Like, it's been pretty consistently, this has been a worse experience than that. Because the last time it was like, yeah, your baby's dying. This is bad. This is really depressing. This is really bad. But I recovered. I don't know if I'm actually going to recover from this one. This one's a little weird. This is a little different. During this last pregnancy, pregnancy number 7, I started feeling not so good. Something was not right. I sought out mental health care and was told, oh, you just have a little bit of depression. Then it was kind of like, well, you know, you do have ADHD, or at least I figured out that I had ADHD. I was pretty sure it was ADHD. And it was like, okay, well, this is ADHD. And I was happy because it was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. I probably might still have ADHD. Fuck if I know. Like, fuck if I know. You know, the symptoms fit. So maybe, but then again, I've met a lot of people with ADHD, and maybe not. I'm still figuring this out, because it's like, I knew something was wrong, and I would go to mental health professionals and be like, okay, you're just struggling with a little bit of depression, you're a new parent, so, you know, it's just not, you're pregnant, just get used to it, it's gonna be okay. Fucking fuck, you are fucking wrong, this is not okay. So anyway, that all happened, And then, I got stuck on antidepressants because it's like, well, you got postpartum depression. It's like, I haven't had the baby yet. Well, sometimes you get postpartum depression before you have the baby. Okay, well, that's a new one on me, but here we go. All right. And I mean, I was always really moody during pregnancy, so it was like, okay, well, I've never liked pregnancy. This one seems a lot worse than the others, but okay. And then I had the baby, and it was like, well, I cannot wait to get back to normal. Every other pregnancy, the baby comes out, and I start feeling normal again. Holy crap, I cannot wait for that to happen, because this has not been fun. Except that didn't happen. And I mean, I looked at it and was like, well, okay, I have postpartum depression. Shit happens. This is a new one for me, but shit happens. And I've been dealing with postpartum depression. Postpartum depression usually goes away after about a year. My baby is more than a year old. He's like a year and a half old now. So, dude, what the fuck? But, yeah. Normal? What's normal? Oh, yeah, normal's gone. Bye-bye, normal. I missed normal. Normal was really fun, but I guess normal isn't coming back. So yeah, like, I was dealing with postpartum depression. It gets a little embarrassing saying you have postpartum depression when you're approaching the year mark, and it's like, hey, I guess I have postpartum depression. My baby's a year old. He's a toddler now. Like, he's walking around. What the fuck? But, it's postpartum depression, right? It's gonna go away eventually. Right? Right? Nope, sorry. No, that's not what's happening here. So I'm going to a mental health professional to deal with my postpartum depression, and also, my husband's brain tumor, because that was a little upsetting too. Like a lot upsetting, but, I mean, shit was happening in my life, and I mean, obviously I had to go get a full-time job immediately after getting birth, which was probably the worst decision I could have made for my mental health, but, money troubles, so you live with it. Anyway, so then I get diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I'm sitting there thinking, this doesn't make any kind of sense. And so then I read about hyperthymia after a month of reading everything the fuck I can about bipolar disorder. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is she telling me I have bipolar disorder? This doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. I don't understand. Well, then, I find out about hyperthymia, and it's like, okay, hyperthymia I can get behind. Hyperthymia sounds like me. I remember being a little high energy, a little upbeat, so maybe that was hyperthymia, and I've always been hyperthymic, and so I have one bout of postpartum depression, and they're like, well, that's your depression, so now you're bipolar. Okay, cool, that makes sense. I have bipolar disorder, but it's not really real bipolar disorder. It's more like hyperthymic bipolar disorder, so, whatever. This is weird, but okay. And then, we're talking to therapists, because, we're going to couples counseling because my husband had a fucking brain tumor. It kind of fucked our lives up for a little bit. And, we're doing that. We're kind of rebuilding our relationship. We're getting used to all the changes we've been through. And the thing that really, really has been throwing a wrench in our lives for a while now, it really isn't the brain tumor. Like, he's struggling with depression because this brain tumor really fucked his life up. And so he's been a bit down. And that's very understandable because it's a fucking brain tumor. It fucked up every aspect of his life. Like, every single aspect of his life has been fucked over by this thing. But then there's also the fact that every month or so, I've been going through these weird moods and just everything goes straight to shit. And he has to deal with that. And it's been really annoying the ever-loving fuck out of me because it's like, what the fuck? Just fucking fly straight for a while. Like, why the fuck can't you just fucking be normal? Like, be a fucking supportive wife. Fucking live your life like a normal person. Fucking control your fucking emotions and fucking be a good mom for a while. Like, what the ever-loving fuck? And then it kind of clicked into place because my husband was like, yeah, she just hasn't been normal since this last pregnancy. No, I haven't, have I? I haven't been me since this last pregnancy. It started in the middle of the pregnancy, and everything went straight to shit. I used to post videos every Thursday night. Like, sometimes it'd be a rough night, and I'd post it, like, really, really early Friday morning, and then I'd be kicking myself, like, okay, it was a rough night, you're a parent, you got a lot of stuff going on, like, shit happens. And I'd be like, well, I need to do better next week. That was bad. That was my idea of bad. Bad was when I posted on Friday morning because I wasn't organized enough to get it posted on Thursday night. I haven't posted a video regularly since midway through my last pregnancy. Kind of funny how that works. I haven't done a lot of things normally since midway through my last pregnancy. I haven't been me since midway through my last pregnancy. What's going on? So my husband said, hey, you should start researching postpartum depression. You're good at researching stuff. Which, I mean, hey, that's really sweet of him to say. I'm glad that he thinks that. So I started reading everything I could find. And the first thing I find when I start reading, like I started this morning, first thing I find, moody, sadness, symptoms of depression. It's like, well, none of that shit applies to me. And I'm really tired of dealing with this because every time I look up postpartum depression, I keep on finding like moody, depressed, teary, low energy, fatigue. It's like, what the fuck? That's not me, so what the fuck? And so I thought, okay, we're going to skip over this shit. We're going to look at postpartum psychosis. Hallucinations. Is God talking to you? That's not quite right. Honestly, it's a little closer to home, but that's not quite right either. Finally, I figured, okay, well, we'll just type in postpartum and bipolar, because I know that a lot of people find out that they have bipolar after their pregnancy. But usually that's like pregnancy number 1 when they're in their 20s, because people find out they have bipolar disorder in their fucking 20s. I'm fucking 36. So, what the fuck? So anyway, I typed in postpartum bipolar, and it turns out there is a thing called postpartum bipolar. You're going along, you're living your life, you're doing whatever, you get pregnant, you have a baby, boom! You have bipolar disorder. Fucking congratulations! Here's your baby, here's your mental illness! I don't know who I am anymore. So that's point A. I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out who the fuck I am, because I'm not me. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna be me again, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm still alive. As long as you're alive and you're not dead, you can do something. So, I'm not me. I don't know who the fuck I am. This is life. Life happens. My baby is healthy. There was a while he wasn't gaining weight, and that was a little scary, and then we found out that he had a food allergy. And we switched his diet around, and he's so healthy right now. Like, it was scary. His ribs were showing. His hair was like straw. It was like really brittle. And he didn't have a lot of energy. He wasn't developing properly. And I was scared shitless that it was me and that I was doing something wrong, because I wasn't right. And I didn't know what the hell. And it's okay. It's just a food allergy. They tested him, they found it, and it was like, okay, so we just switched his diet, and sure enough, he started developing properly. His hair is healthy now, like it's glossy. When I talk to my mom on the phone, she says, because they live far away, and she says his cry sounds healthier, like his voice is stronger, and he's walking around now. He started toddling. So he's a little developmentally behind, and they're giving him developmental therapy for that, but he's healthy, and on top of that, like, there's a part of me that's really just fucking relieved that it's not anything I did, because I'm not me. So I didn't fuck up that kid's life. So that's good. That's important. Figuring all this shit out first things first. I don't know who I am. Okay. And so I need to make sure I don't fuck my kid's life up in the process. So that's important. I have bipolar disorder now. I'm starting to think I didn't before. I might have been a hyperthymic before. But now I have full-blown bipolar disorder, and I appear to be rapid cycling because every month or so I crash. So I haven't been able to maintain a regular schedule. I really like the people I met at work because they never knew me before. So that's kind of cool. Like, people are messaging my husband and talking to my husband. They're like, is she okay? Like, no, I'm not okay, apparently. This is not okay. But this is the new me. This is my life now. I'm not on any medication because up until just recently, it never really dawned on me that my everything, my moods, my mental health had taken a very dramatic change. It never really occurred to me. Like, I just never fit 2 and 2 together, but now it all makes sense. Because I never had crashes before. And, I mean, now I crash. And I get really, really self-destructive. I get really angry. I get really moody. I get really volatile, and I don't understand what's going on. But now it makes sense. So the first thing to do, I'm so fucking pissed. Most people, they go through this in their early 20s. Like, you hit about 20-ish, you go off to college, and suddenly it's like, boom, you have bipolar disorder, and you're pissed off in your 20s, because it's like, what the fuck, and that's weird. That's weird. People go through that, and it's really fucking weird. It's a little bit weird when you go through it and you're 36 and you're reading all these articles about dealing with it at the age of like 20, 21, maybe 25. And it's like, yeah, that's fucking weird. Imagine having lived your fucking adult life for like 16 years and you know what you're doing because you're going through life and it's like everything makes sense. You're established as a fucking adult and then surprise! What the fuck? What the fucking fuck? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ! I just didn't have this on my radar. Fuck! It's a little annoying. It's a little goddamn annoying. So, okay, the first thing I need to do, I'm not me anymore. Gotta figure out who my me is, because me is not me anymore. I mean, some things carry over, obviously. I still really enjoy seafood, and I still love my husband most of the time, except when I'm crashing, in which case I don't love anyone. And oh God, I still enjoy writing. I've been writing a lot, and now I'm realizing that's probably just to help stabilize myself and figure out what the fuck is going on, because I'm not me anymore, and so I'm trying to figure out who the fuck I am, and so I've been writing novels. I've been writing entire novels. The manic part is still kind of the same. I'm still, like, before, I probably did have yeah. It's really cold in this car. I probably did have hyperthymia before this. So I was probably always predisposed to bipolar disorder. And that probably happened because I had a fucking crazy childhood. Or maybe I was just chemically like that. I don't know. But hyperthymia probably was there because I've always been a little bit on the manic side. But now I've got the manic, but I also crash regularly. I appear to be rapid cycling. Which is a pain in the ass, and everybody says it's a pain in the ass, and I guess I'm going to have to learn what kind of a pain in the ass it is. I'm not currently crashing, although I'm really obviously a little moody, but I'm kind of upset at the moment, so, I just figured this shit out this morning. That's the sun rising right over there. So, it's been like an hour since this all kind of crashed down on me, and now it all makes sense. So now I'm making a video about it because, fuck, why not? Why the fuck not? Jesus. It probably sounds like I'm insane, and honestly, I feel extraordinarily lucid. I'm just extraordinarily pissed off because, this was my nightmare scenario, I've got a list. I joke with people. I've got a list of shit that I don't ever want to have happen to me. I started it when I was a kid. You hear about something and you're like, that sounds fucked up. I hope that never happens to me. Getting raped and all the shit that goes along with it. It's like, that sounds fucked up. I hope that never happens to me. Oh, wait, it did. Well, okay, live and move on with life. Okay, that was pretty fucked up, but, you keep going. Finding out about other things, trisomy 18. God, I remember reading about trisomy 18 and thinking, Jesus, that sounds so fucked up. I hope that never happens to me. Oh, wait. There you go. It did. Well, that's pretty fucked up. But, you just keep living and life happens and, I read about people who have a baby and develop serious mental health problems afterwards. And it was like, geez, that sounds real fucked up. I'm so sorry for those people. I hope that never happens to me. Well, fuck. Here we go! It's an adventure! Let's have fun with this! I don't know what the fuck to do. I guess just learn to live with it. Like, okay, now I'm a person who has bipolar disorder, and now I'm rapid cycling, and I have been rapid cycling for probably about a year and a half now, because maybe a little over a year and a half, probably closer to 2 years, because it started midway through the pregnancy, so a year and 3/4, let's say. Great. Fucking great. So I have to go back and I have to read through all the bipolar management tips that people give, because now I've got it. I'm going to stop right here and show you a video of this adorable kitty cat while I explain something, because context is important. Every mental health professional I've talked to about bipolar disorder has been operating on the assumption that I've had bipolar disorder since my early 20s and am therefore familiar with the symptoms. Because of this, I assumed that the symptoms of bipolar as they manifested me were just high energy and occasional irritability, which isn't bad at all. That was how I've always been. What no one realized is that my bipolar began with the last pregnancy, and these horrible crashes I've been experiencing without any clue what they were, those are the symptoms of bipolar disorder. I'm not remotely used to dealing with them because I've never had them before, and no one talked to me about them because no one realized they were new to me. I didn't complain about them because I thought I'd had bipolar disorder since my 20s, and me up until 2 years ago has never had crashes. So this new weird thing I've been experiencing? Well, it can't be bipolar disorder because I've had bipolar disorder my whole adult life and I've never experienced this. Except this is bipolar disorder, and I have no idea how to cope with it because it's all brand new. I'm a stable, married, stay-at-home mom person thing. I'm supposed to have my shit together. Gee, I remember when adulting wasn't a chaotic mess. Yeah, I think the most important thing right now is just learning to predict the crashes, because now I know they're crashes. I didn't know what was going on before. It was like one of these crazy what the fuck kinds of things where it's like, all right, I think family things are getting normal and I'm getting normal and normal's happening and this is really exciting. And then I'd crash and it would be like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? What the fuck happened? Jesus! And now I know. Those are crashes. Those are bipolar. Those are crashes. So this is a symptom of bipolar disorder, and this is happening to me, and this is real. And so now I have to figure out how to predict those. And I already know. Like, I already have the point where I'm starting to get the feeling that this is happening, and I'm starting to get the feeling that something's not right. And so now I need to go to my husband and be like, I think I am crashing. And I think in a couple days things are going to get a little rocky, so we got to start working to avoid that. I remember when I was worried about, like, parent-teacher conferences, and I thought that was scary. Well, well, shit. And I mean, there is that whole things can always be worse kind of thing, so, I mean, I guess I should be grateful that life was as even keel and level for those early years of my first children's lives as possible, but then this shit happened. But then I was dealing with my husband's brain tumor. It's, what's really pissing me off also? Like, this is funny, but it's not. My husband had a brain tumor. It started right about, like, early in our first child's life. It was 5 to 7 years ago that it started, and so we had a baby, and he started developing this brain tumor, and shit started really just going downhill in our marriage, and it just kept going down, 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 down. It got worse and worse and worse because he wasn't him, and I didn't recognize the man I was married to, and our marriage was just struggling along. And I mean, we've been together for 12 years now. We've been married for 10, and the majority of that time, like, the lion's share of that time, he wasn't himself because he had a brain tumor, and it really sucked. And then we find this magic pill, and it just fixes everything. And yeah, he's still dealing with all the after effects of that brain tumor, but he's himself again. I'm shivering, I'm sorry. It's really cold in this car, although at least the windows are starting to defrost. That's kind of nice. But yeah, he's himself again, which is really cool. And we start, we try to look at it and say, hey, this is a fresh start for us. We can start living our lives together and being together the way we used to be. That's really awesome. Except now I'm not me anymore because suddenly I have this weird thing. Like, I went through pregnancy and my brain chemistry shifted. Like, you know how depression, it's like one of those things, every once in a while you look at people and it's like, Jesus, can't you just get over it? Like, I get that you're depressed, but dude, get the fuck out of bed. Go eat some regular food, healthy food instead of junk food. Get some fucking exercise. Step out your front door. Get some fucking sunlight. Stop being a fucking vampire, You have those moments with depressed people and you kind of look at them that way. I know that people who understand depression don't look at them that way, but if you've never really struggled with depression before, you have those moments. I have struggled with depression and I've still had those moments where it's like, dude, just get the fuck up. Just get the fuck up, because, lying in bed, you're not going to get any better. So get the fuck on your feet. Good. You're on your feet. Brush your fucking teeth. Start moving. Just move. And I mean, that's probably the hyperthymia again, but you have those moments where you look at people, it's like, why don't you do this? Well, my brain chemistry altered. Like, it just changed. I stopped being me. That might be a permanent change. Woohoo! I'm starting to think it is a permanent change. I'm starting to think that I'm going to have to learn how to live with bipolar disorder now at the age of fucking 36, when I should be older and more developed. Like, a lot of people who have it, they start getting their shit together in their 20s because they develop bipolar disorder in their 20s and they learn how to deal with it in their 20s. It's like, I feel like I'm not an adult here because I should have dealt with this shit like a long time ago, but it didn't hit me until about a year and a half ago. And so now it's like, well, you're dealing with it now. Congratulations. You know how you should have your adult shit figured out? Well, congratulations, you don't. So that's fun. That's real fucking fun. I've got a friend and his sister is pregnant, and I am not telling her about my life right now because, like, I haven't been talking to her about this part of pregnancy, because it's like, sometimes you have a baby and you go insane. Have fun. When are you due again? I'm not going to do that to her. I'm not going to do that to her. Like, I'm not going to do that to anybody. This is not normal. This is not normal. Me and what I'm going through, this is not normal. Apparently, like, what was it? Some small percentage of women who have postpartum depression, it turns out that, like, 22% of them have postpartum bipolar disorder. It just gets misdiagnosed as depression because, everybody, like, oh, you have postpartum depression. Everybody's heard about postpartum depression. I never fucking heard of postpartum bipolar disorder. What the fuck? So yeah, there's that. You might be thinking right now, by the way, that me just being really, really kind of explosive and volatile in this video is somehow me having bipolar disorder and I'm going up in moods and down in moods and up in moods. No, I'm just extremely agitated because I kept thinking that at some point I was going to get back to normal. Like, I was going to get back to some recognizable normal. Like, because when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it was like, well, I've always had this, right? Because you develop it in your 20s, right? So I've had this since I was like 20 and I just never noticed. Right? No. No. This is different. This is some fucking fucked up shit. Congratulations, you're on a roller coaster, ma'am. You're gonna ride a ride here. I'm a little annoyed. A little. I am supremely pissed off. Because now it's starting to click into place. It's like, okay, I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash a lot. I'm gonna have to deal with crashes now. And now that I know that I'm going to have to deal with crashes, it's like, Jesus, couldn't somebody have fucking told me this? Why the fuck did I have to fucking figure this out? Actually, it was my husband who figured it out. He was the one who figured out the last piece of the puzzle. He was like, you haven't been the same since this pregnancy. Because I crashed. Because I crashed. And every time I crash, it's bad. Like, it's really bad. And he has to deal with that. And I feel bad for him because, like, he has to deal with me going completely fucking crazy. And that's horrible. And I never wanted that for him. I never wanted that for me. I never wanted any of this. I just wanted to have a baby. And he's an adorable baby, so I'm really happy I have him. But Jesus Christ, what the fuck? You know? What happened to my nice, normal life, you know? I had the perfect family, you know, I've got the loving husband, I've got the 4 adorable children, we've got a nice little house, you can kind of see the corner of it in the background there. you know. And then this shit happened. It's like, how many of you woke up one morning and realized you were never going to be the same? It's a little fucking fucked up. It's a little fucked up. And I'm really, really cold right now, so if I'm shivering, it's just, I guess it's not too bad below freezing. It's probably slightly above freezing. Yeah, it's slightly above freezing. There's not frost on the windows anymore, so it's slightly above freezing. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know who I am anymore. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. And I've been working on figuring that part out for a year because some part of me realized that I didn't know what was going on. Hyperthymic, like, it's not a disorder. It was just hyperthymic. That's not a disorder because that's not causing any bad things to happen. And I think in the entire time that I'm making videos, it's like, well, yeah, I'm bipolar, but that's okay. It's a little weird, but whatever. But, you know, I've had this my whole life, and I've never needed medication, and I never had any problems, and everything was okay, so I guess this is what bipolar is. But now I'm starting to realize, no, this is bipolar. This shit I'm dealing with right here, this is bipolar. Everything before that, hyperthymia. Hyperthymia doesn't require a diagnosis because you're just kind of living life and everything's good. But then I got pregnant, and then my brain chemistry altered, and now I'm not me anymore. This is bipolar. This is what it is. This is what's going on. Now I understand. And I mean, the reason it didn't quite click in place for me, because I think a lot of you are probably like slapping yourself on the forehead going, you know, you didn't figure that out before? Jesus, like, what did you think bipolar was? It's like, well, I thought bipolar was normal. Because everybody's been, it makes sense. Every mental health professional I've been talking to, well, didn't you have didn't you have depressions before? It's like, not like this, no, this is new. Well, surely you've been dealing with this since you were like 20, right? Not this. This is new. This is different. This started with my last pregnancy. My husband finally clued in on it because he's been married to me for he's been with me for 12 years. It's like, yeah, she never used to be like this until this last pregnancy. That's when I got bipolar disorder. I did not have bipolar disorder until about a year and a half ago. 2 years ago, something like that. And that's when we knew something was wrong when I started screaming one day and threw a chair across the room for no reason. I never used to be that kind of person. I never used to do that shit. That was weird. That was weird. You know, my husband used to know me as this really stable, pretty happy-go-lucky person because that's hyperthymia. You're pretty happy-go-lucky. You're unusually happy, actually. And I mean, I'd been through some horrible shit, and I just kind of always bounced back from it, you know? Not this time, I guess. This time I'm not me anymore. I'm a different person. I guess life's interesting. I mean, it would be kind of annoying if life was boring because I hate to be bored, so cool. I'm not bored. So I have crashes now, and I'm going to have to be prepared for that and figure out what that's about and figure out what to do about that and probably talk to my husband the moment I start feeling a little bit not quite right because now I know it's a bipolar crash. Congratulations, you're about to have a really wicked mood swing and it's going to last you for a few days. That's going to be fun. And it's been rapid. It's been rapid cycling. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue, but now I know. The good news, I guess, is that I haven't had a full-blown manic episode yet. I've had some really weird things happen. I kind of don't want to talk to my doctors about those weird things because I kind of have the feeling that my diagnosis might go from type 2 to type 1 if I do. Well, shit. Fuck. You know, and they're probably, you know, I don't want to go on medication. I don't want to need medication. No one wants to need medication, you know? But I'm not me anymore, so we're starting with a clean slate. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm gonna have to figure all this out from the beginning. It's like, this isn't none of this is or just start all over again, because this changes things. Because now I have to start not trying to go back into the past in my life and say, okay, this whole bipolar thing started when I was 20 or thereabouts, because I thought, it must have started when I was 16, right? Because I've always been this way. It seems very consistent. Everything in my life seemed really, really consistent. So it's like, okay, bipolar can start in your earlier years, and so it must have started in my earlier years. No. I was hyperthymic. I was consistently hyperthymic throughout my life. That was me. That was the old me. I miss that person. She was pretty cool. She was a pretty chill girl. I really miss her. She's dead now, by the way. I don't know if I'm ever going to get her back. This is the new me. I got to figure this shit out. New me started we'll say about 2 years ago. So for the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure out just what the fuck. The sun's rising, so I'm going to shift a little bit so it's not quite in my eyes as much. So yeah, got to figure out the new me. New me has not figured out how to hold down a consistent schedule, as I'm sure all of you who are waiting for my videos to come out have noticed. New me doesn't have her shit together. New me needs to learn how to be an adult, because new me is irresponsible as fuck. And it's not that I'm trying to be irresponsible, it's just that I keep having these crazy mood swings that now I kind of understand a lot better, because every single fucking mental health professional I've talked to, they're all very lovely people. I'm not angry at them or anything, but it's really frustrating, because it's like, well, haven't you always been like this? No, I haven't. I have not always been like this. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? No, this is all new. So I gotta figure this shit out. So, hey everybody, I have bipolar disorder, and I gotta figure out what the fuck is going on in my life. So I'm on a roller coaster ride. If you would all like to come with me for my lovely, exciting journey, you're welcome to join me along in this ride that I'm on, because shit's real fucked up. So, yay! This is year 2 of me with bipolar disorder. I finally figured out that this is new. This is new. I guess I'm a little late to the party, but then again, so's everybody else. So are my mental health care providers. It would have been nice if I had been diagnosed properly when I was still pregnant, and this shit started up. But then again, nobody knew, nobody suspected, and everybody talks about fucking postpartum depression. I am not depressed. I am fucking boatloads of fucking energy, man. The problem is, directing that energy is a little bit of a problem, because normally I can be nice and productive, and I'm doing just fine, and I'm talking a little bit faster than normal, and I'm okay. Everything's good. We're going. We're moving forward. And then all of a sudden, boom, I am fucking pissed at the world, and I'm screaming at a voicemail machine on my phone because I called someone and I got their fucking voicemail. And no, I didn't leave a fucking voicemail. I just like that. I didn't do that. I screamed at the phone, not the voicemail machine. I was fucking screaming at it. Because I guess that's who I am now. And that's not okay. That's obviously clearly not okay, but that's the problem. Like, if you don't know that you're mentally ill and you're running around with a mental illness, you don't know that you're acting like a fucking crazy person. And I mean, I knew I was acting like a crazy person, but I didn't really know what the fuck was going on. And now it's all starting to make a lot of sense. I've been acting like a fucking crazy person, but now I know how I've been acting like a fucking crazy person. So now I have to figure out how to predict the moments that I'm going to do something fucking fucked up and crazy and be like, okay, we need to take a step back here, because shit's about to hit the fan in a really unpleasant way, and maybe I need to just isolate myself for a little while so that I can have this, whatever the fuck is happening, somewhere away from people, somewhere where I'm not going to disturb other folks, somewhere where I'm not going to break anything, or, maybe somewhere where there's a conveniently placed punching bag so that if I want to break something, I have something to direct that energy toward. I need to talk with my husband. He might not necessarily want me to isolate myself too much because I've got, I don't know if you guys probably can't see this in this light. My arm is covered in scars. That's all new. That developed over the last 2 years. Actually, mostly over the last year. Everything got so out of control. I kept a razor blade in my purse, and I just sneak into my car and I'd start cutting myself. And I have pictures of my phone, weirdly enough. That sounds really weird and freaky, but I have pictures on my phone of my arm it looked like raw meat and it was covered in blood. And I thought it looked pretty. I thought the blood looked really, really pretty because the light was shining on it, the sunlight, and it looked pretty, so I took a picture. That's not me. Like, I used to do that a bit when I was a kid because shit was fucked up and I nearly died, and yeah, that was pretty fucked up. But and then this happened, and now it's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? This isn't me. This is the new me. New me is a different person. And I'm just trying to, I don't know if this is a healthy way to look at it or not, but this is the best I can figure out right now. Old me is dead. I liked that person, but, oh, and here's another thing. This is something I haven't talked about so much. I don't recognize myself. I don't recognize my body. I don't recognize the sensations that I get from my body. That's gone. I don't recognize the feel of my arms. Like, I was thinking about it. Like, I've had a couple mornings, like a couple weeks ago, I had a morning or two where I'd wake up in the morning and I actually felt like I was me, and I felt like I was inside my own body, and it was like this really weird experience where I was like, oh my God, I'm me. And I'd reach down and touch myself, and then all of a sudden it would be like, oh shit, I'm not. Fuck. Because I don't recognize my own body anymore. I don't know what it feels like in my body anymore. My body doesn't feel like it's mine anymore. That's a little weird. I kind of don't like that part. I keep wanting to feel like my body is mine, and it doesn't. And I keep thinking, well, I'm just out of shape. I need to get back into shape. I had a baby. I'm out of shape. I need to get back into shape. I got back into shape. This is kind of my shape. And I'm looking and it's like, well, I need to do something different. Like, I need to change something because none of this is recognizable. And so I'm trying to learn contortions again, because contortions have been good for me in the past for getting a sense of control over my body, because it's radical bodily control. Like, you have to bend your body into shapes that a human body doesn't normally bend into. And it's like, okay, I used to do that, and it made me feel like I had control over this. And so I'm trying to just, maybe again, this might not be the right way to handle it, but I'm just kind of looking at it as like, okay, I am not me anymore. This body isn't my old body. And I'm sorry, if you're looking at this and saying, well, you're just going through some postpartum shit. My baby is 1.5 years old. He's walking around the house. This is different. This is weird. This is weird. I've had 7 pregnancies. This one's a little weird, guys. This isn't your normal postpartum. Oh, I just wish I had my pre-baby body back. I don't recognize the feel, the sensations of my own body anymore. This right here, this isn't familiar to me. This is different. My face is different. My hands are different. My arms are different. My legs, my back, my stomach. I'm not inside my own body anymore. It's like I switched bodies. I need to figure out a whole new body, because this is all new and different. So, okay, let's just start fresh. Whole new body, new and different. Got to figure this out. Got to figure out how to live inside this. This is me now. Whole new mind. This doesn't work the way it used to. I got to figure this out. Whatever the fuck is going on in here, this isn't what it used to be, so let's just start fresh. Clean slate. I gotta figure all this out. And I gotta learn to live with it, because this is me. I think people have this idea that, after postpartum depression, you get better and you go back to normal. I had this idea that postpartum depression, you go back to normal, right? Normal is gone, guys. There is no more normal. This is what I am now. This is me. Me's a little weird. Me's different. Me's different. I can go on to live a normal, functional, healthy life. I believe that entirely. There's no doubt in my mind that I can go on to live a normal, functional, healthy life. But I got a whole new set of equipment I gotta work with. That's a little scary and a little different, a little weird. But I know now. I understand now that this is what I'm doing. I gotta learn how to live with bipolar disorder. I gotta learn how to figure out whatever the fuck's going on with my body issues, because these are a little different. This is a little weird. And this might just be another symptom of bipolar, because I've read about some people having bodily issues with bipolar, so maybe this is just one of the symptoms. So yeah, there I am. It's like, up until now, I think I've just been talking about hyperthymia, because it's like, okay, well, I've got hyperthymia. I'm a little moody right now. This is a little different, but, I'm going to go back to normal, right? No. This is a whole new thing. There is no going back to normal. Normal is gone. There is no going back. So that's it. That's the video. Life is exciting. Life isn't boring. And I'll probably make more videos about this as I figure out who the fuck I am and what the fuck is going on with me. Until then, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're doing better than me. I really hope you are. I hope that none of you are dealing with any kind of nasty shit, because it's not fun dealing with nasty shit. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys later.